To me, it was a big dream to do a big top show at Cirque du Soleil. I wanted to celebrate the big top. I spent a lot of time around the chapiteau looking at it, and it appeared to me it's like an antenna of steel that captates the energy of the invisible, and that energy goes in the stage and it manifests into the bodies of the characters, the set elements and stuff. So I started to dream about the story of Curios, thinking of, okay, there's this scientific man and he's invented a machine. This is why you have what we call the portal. He's using the electricity energy to go through the portal to another dimension where all the dreams that are waiting until someone dreams them on planet Earth. Mysterious energy for this machine would be electricity. So I started to research on electricity. I found out that it was invented in the 19th century. I was in love with that era because a lot of things were invented to bring people together, to connect them. It's similar to our era with internet and the mobile phone. Stéphane Roy, the set designer, said, why don't we go with steampunk? But as usual at Cirque du Soleil, we invent our own stuff. So our steampunk is like no other steampunk in the world. This is the Cirque du Soleil thing. We don't do documentaries. It has to be wilder, it has to be more free. The costume is a huge part of our show. Most of them are like haute couture, they're handmade. You don't see many machines, and you can feel that. I like to say that every day at Cirque du Soleil, it's like the fashion week. And the same thing with makeup. It takes 2 hours to apply a makeup. It's a transformation, it's almost a meditation. Each of the parts of these props come with its own history. Usually we have a prop and we have a mold, and we have to make sure that for 15 years we can reproduce exactly the prop in the way it is. In this case, we wanted to have something authentic, so this is built with existing things that are recycled. Curios has more props than any Cirque du Soleil touring show in the whole history. Oh, nice. So this is something I've never seen, because Bruno prepares the plan Bs if someone is sick, what happens. So now he's working with Gabriel, our juggler, on a backup act. We don't sit down and say, oh, we have a good show. We love our show and we want to keep it alive. Gabriel, I knew he would fit in the show very well, and the show benefits from its talent very much. He is beyond juggling. I've auditioned jugglers for years, and I never saw someone who can act like that, and he's a real artist. This show is very joyful. I'm like the audience members, I'm excited, and we wanted to do a show we're very optimistic that would uplift the audience. I see the attachment that the audience has for Cirque, and I say that with a bit of emotion because we're so privileged to work here, to create in this environment, to continue this relationship with the audience. There's something magical in that. The costume is a huge part of our show. I think there's 3,000 pieces that travel, and we are autonomous. If you have a new artist coming, of course he will go to Montreal before he reaches the tour, and he will have his costume fitting there and stuff. But if we have something to fix, something to arrange, it's done here. We have good technologies for like the body scanning now, so we can generate the measurements of the artist. Like, we're really good at those technology, but there's a lot that is still done by just a machine like that, or by hand, and you can feel that. It's not made in factory.
The costume of Microcosmos is a huge piece of that character. One part is attached to my back and the other part is removable so we can clip Antonina inside the costume. It's like being pregnant with a 50-pound baby. Sometimes she tries to tickle me, she punched my leg, telling me, hey, should I come out or not? So there's movement. I know exactly when she's trying to open the light, and she has little pockets inside the costume because it's really big for her. Maybe not super comfortable. The makeup, like you can see, there's a lot of line to it. You're gonna make my face look a lot more elastic. Even if you're 50 feet away, you can see when I'm happy, sad, angry. The first time I did it, after 2.5 hours, I did not finish the makeup. But now normally on an everyday, I would say 45 minutes. This is the hardest part of this makeup, the eyes. Now I know my face, so I know that one eye is smaller than the other one. So I know where to pass the lines to try to look symmetrical. Yeah, you discover a lot about yourself doing the makeup. You need to look at yourself in the mirror for about an hour or so. This powder makes the makeup stick to your face. That's why we can run around, jump on the net, sweat like crazy, but the makeup doesn't move. Now, the secret touch. There are like little screws to fix every skin part. If you look here, so I just move a little bit and everything just goes crazy. Time to gear up. 5 minutes before I have to go. Let's do this.
Very good. Keep the head neutral with your torso. We have the artist going through a preventative circuit here. So we have 8 stations, 45 seconds of work with 15 seconds of rest.
Okay, and switch.
And everybody goes through it twice. Gets a good workout of the low back, side abs, and front abs. Well done. Good job, Jack. I'm one of the performance medicine therapists. There's 2 of us. We're responsible for all the medical well-being of the 46 artists. I'm with one of our artists, Gabriel. We're doing some preventative release on his side hip muscles, just to try to get it nice and loose so that when he's doing his juggling and any of his activity, his hips feel free so he can move around on stage and do what he does best. We always try to be available to do a lot of prevention work, to try to have these artists get something before it becomes a problem. Like Gabrielle and I have talked where we've taken some video of him juggling, seeing what kind of muscles he's using more than the other. My biggest concern for these artists is them being focused, because when you have that repetitiveness and you've been doing it for so long and they're so good at it, they have the ability to just kind of have their minds wander because their muscles and their bodies are in tune with doing the exact same thing. Every day has to be the best performance. So the chances of being conservative aren't always, oh, just take 2 weeks to rest. That's not always our reality. So we have to try to find things that we can make work so that the artist gets better, has improvement, and the show is also supported.
We are in Denver for our session of CrossFit. We're doing it like 3 times a week. It's like just an activity we're doing outside of work, to break the routine every day.
It's a good kind of team building. We just have some fun together and we joke around, and it gives us something to kind of talk about and compare notes when we're on site as well.
I'm trying to not do too much working out like traditional, just pushing weight, because I was doing this for a long time. I was getting a little bit tired. What I like about CrossFit is like every day something different.
name is Paula Miller. I'm Curios kitchen manager. The main task is to provide food and good service for all the cast and crew. It's an incredible setup for a kitchen that packs and unpacks all the time. It normally takes 2 days on this tour. They're very good, they're very fast of getting it ready. Until we can actually get our kitchen, we cook off a barbecue. So it's harder, you gotta be creative to be able to serve different meals that all come from the barbecue. And as soon as the kitchen is ready, people can come and have 2, 3, 4 meals a day. We have all sorts of different nationalities and different diets. So you gotta combine a different type of food with also a variation on how healthy or how heavy it is. So really, your worry is just to make it happen on the best way possible. We try to focus on what the city or state has available, what's local, what's in season, what would be nice with the weather, and what's actually available and cheaper at that point as well. We went to farmers market, we have some local fruits and vegetables. Whenever we can get local cheeses and breads as well, we do that. So we're making tortilla soup today. Very, very popular, very large amounts every time we make it. I use the largest pot I have in the house. So Ming is being my assistant today. It's the first time he comes to do Mexican food with me, which is funny, a Brazilian and an Asian making Mexican food. It's gonna turn out delicious, I'm sure. It's the first time he's coming to cook with me, so I'm excited. 4 onions.
Sometimes they allow me to do a little learning. What's my regular job? I'm a rigger.
And give it a little stir, and once we start smelling the spices, then it's time to add the liquid to it.
I smell it.
Smell it a little longer.
I feel like a witch. Uh-oh, something's getting burnt. Paula!
We're like a big family, so it's very different from a service on a restaurant or in a hotel that you don't really have that contact with the customer. Here we're all a big family, so it makes it very special.
Every city when we arrive, we need first to set up. We're setting up here around 5 days. We have 2,000 tons of equipment to install. Not only the permanent crew is building the site, but also we're supported by 150 technicians that are hired locally to help us.
Basically here we have 3 tents holding by 1,200 stakes. The week before we arrive, we have marking teams coming and mark everything, mark all the tents. So first day we built the artistic tent. After that we put big top mast in place. We will raise the mast. The next morning we're ready to lift it up, take the canvas out. Faster on 1 and 8. So this is the last step to put that canvas up. Since all those years we're still pushing all those poles by hands. It's really impressive when you have all those guys aligned and you just yell for the 2-3 push. 2, 3, push! It's really amazing. Push! It takes about 5 to 10 minutes and everything is up. Last section, guys! 2, 3, push! Yeah! Good job!
Our Boneyard barbecue. It's like a big thank you to all the techs and all the site guys and the fly-ins that come and set this up for us.
Big Top to a city for about 2 months, between 7 to 10 weeks. And my job is to make sure that people in this city know that we are there. So you'll always see some traditional marketing. Part of our strategy is obviously to have our posters on billboards, in shopping centers. We will also try to come up with ideas that are a little bit outside of the box, and that involves, for example, when we did in Montreal projection, so guerrilla advertising we call it. It created a big hype. People were wondering what that was. One of the milestones is obviously the big top raising. The media will come in. We're basically at the second day of our setup. There's basically nothing on site, and we are pushing the tent up.
All right, guys, ready? 2, 3, 4!
Another thing that's really awesome is behind the scenes prior to our opening night. So the artists are back. They're training, they're getting ready for our opening night, and we invite media to come and have a peek behind the scene and meet them before they actually get to see the show. All right, girls, you ready? We're opening doors. Premiere night is obviously the biggest night for the marketing manager and myself, the publicist. We're inviting people, the whole Big Top, 2,600 people are guests. So we're inviting media, celebrities, social media influencers, CEOs, VIPs, people that will talk about the show and that will spread the word of mouth. That really launches our time in this city. Because we're here for such a long period of time compared to rock and roll bands or shows that are there for just a few days, we have to maintain the attention and make sure that people are aware that we are still here. For example, we'll take the artists outside of the tent in costume and makeup, and we create kind of events where they do appearances and interact with the public. Or we can also do a photo shoot where we take our artists at main iconic buildings of that city. I would say that the best part of my job is that I'm working on an incredible show. Wherever we go, we've had raving reviews. People love Curios, so it makes my job so much easier. I see these artists working so hard and accomplishing a lifetime work on stage that it pushes me to work hard as well to promote the show as much as possible.